it's time for the most motivational segment in all sports and focus. Also a time where we read viewer mail. A lot of people just think that because we're so close to 1 billion views on YouTube and we're so current, we're very big on social media. They're like, certainly they don't just do old school mail. Wrong, we do. Christina went to the mailbox. Dear Wilds, love the show. Are you nervous about the updated Broncos quarterback depth chart that they just released? Cheers, Ryan and Brian. They did release a brand new depth chart since Bo was out. Stidham, Ellinger, and then, of course, the one and only
Jackson Blade.
Jackson Blade.
Wow. I hope he plays.
Jackson Blade. Amazing.
Stud.
Yeah.
All right, I like that, Wilds. Thank you.
Well
Thank
done.
you.
Here
we
I
go.
thought you might go with a cowboy, like riding a Bronco. Like I thought we were gonna get Cowboy Brew back, but you
I'm sorry, is this dueling pianos?
You know,
In
you
a
threw
jar,
a
you put a
curveball.
dollar on it?
I do have a request. Can I get a black cowboy hat for Jackson Blade to match the
Please add a black cowboy hat.
rest of the
You
outfit?
can make requests.
Okay, good.
Thank you. All right, number 3. You'll like this, Rob.
Okay, good.
Drake Maye.
Oh.
First of all, Drake, I think I speak for all football fans outside of Denver or outside of Colorado.
Yeah.
Just get to the Super Bowl. We don't want to see a backup quarterback, Jarrett Stidham, in the Super Bowl. It's just kind of a downer. I get Nick Foles, I get Jeff Hostetler, all that stuff, but it's just kind of a downer. I want the MVP.
That's a great point. Do
One
you
of
think
the
the world
MVP
is pulling for the Patriots?
I just think we would all be more excited going into that Super Bowl, those 2 weeks going into the Super Bowl, if it's Drake Maye versus whoever on the other side versus Jarrett Stidham,
I love that.
whoever on the other side. All right, so now, here's the thing, Drake. The first 2 weeks of your playoff career, you're playing with house money. The Chargers, I get it, you're supposed to beat them, but nobody was going to kill you if you lost your first playoff game to a good team in the Chargers. Certainly no one's going to kill you if you lost to the Houston Texans with one of the best defenses in the league. But now, the pressure's on. Now, you can't lose to Jarrett the Javelin Stidham. All right, so the pressure now is on you. And I say this, and I think you have this mentality, but seize the day. Don't look at this as, man, my second year. Yeah, of course I want to win it, but I'm going to be back. I got plenty of opportunities. No, you don't, not necessarily. Ask Joe Burrow, who made the Super Bowl his second year and has never been back, hadn't even made the playoffs the last 3 years. Ask Dan Marino, who won the MVP, the Super Bowl, got to the Super Bowl his second year. I'm sure he thought he was going back, never got back again. So this is the moment for you, Drake. I believe in you. All right, at number 2.
I like that.
Jarrett Stidham. Speaking of Stidham. All right, what an opportunity. Coach, I think there are very few times in professional sports where you have this type of opportunity.
Bro, I'm not laughing at you. Sorry, the bar. You need to play like Stid-HIM.
Again, Dusty, that's why he's teammate of the year. All right, but here's the deal, Coach. You're on the huge stage.
Yeah.
You have a chance to get to the championship and make history, and there are absolutely no expectations. None. If you go out there and struggle, he's a backup. He's a journeyman. He hasn't thrown, this is true, he hasn't thrown a pass in an NFL game in 2 years. And you expected him to go out there at the AFC Championship game against a good defense and play well? If you don't play well, this is to me high reward, no risk. No risk. Now, there is a little, if you do play well, Jarrett, I think you put your name in the hat of potentially being a starter. I know you got one more year left in Denver as the backup, but maybe they trade you, I don't know, or 2 years from now or a year from now, some team brings you in and you have a chance to start in training camp. So this could really change your career. There is a bit of a downside though. Right now, you've been rolling off of nobody really knows. Nobody's seen you. You know, Jordan Palmer loves you. Thinks you have, I guess, MVP potentially. He said you could play as well as Drake Maye. All right? I mean, that's what he said. Josh McDaniels loves you. You know, Sean Payton loves you. So all of us who haven't seen a lot of you are like, well, these are good football guys.
Yeah, sure.
They say he can play, okay. But now you got to go out there and show us. You'll lose all of that if you don't play well. I'm going to be honest, Jarrett, I don't really believe in you. But I do think you have a chance to win this game. I actually think that's on the board.
Yeah, and Brew, you talked about him getting a starting quarterback job. He could get a Coors Light, could build a statue in front of the arena and wins a couple games. Like Bud Light did for Nick Foles.
It's happened before. Yeah. All right, at number 1, Sam Darnold. Mm-hmm. This is it, Sam. This is when you put the bust, pumpkin mold, all of that to rest. You bury it right now. You could go from I'm seeing ghosts to I'm raising banners. I'm wearing rings, or at least one. I'm wearing a ring. This is your chance, Sam, to do all of that. Also, and I should have said this yesterday, I would have won must win.
Oh.
Bragging rights in one of the great quarterback classes in recent memory. All right, 2018, you were the 3rd pick. Baker Mayfield was in that draft.
Yeah.
Josh Allen was in that draft. Lamar Jackson was in that draft. And you could become the first one of those 3 to not win a Super Bowl, get to a Super Bowl.
Pretty good.
That is some serious bragging rights. And so here it is. Now, of course, there is a downside. If you go out there and throw 3 interceptions this weekend, which is your average against Seattle this year, against the Rams this year, sorry to admit that. But if you do that, you are going to have to live with pumpkin mode, bust, all of that. Not bust, but pumpkin mode for the next year, at least. The next calendar year. Yeah. Unless you would go next year in the playoffs and be lights out and win. So, Sam, I am starting. I'm starting to believe in you. Yeah. Starting to believe in you.
Coach, you one of your favorites.
The Bud list is it's like a roller coaster ride for me. I'm just hopping on. And first you're saying, nobody wants to see Stidham. Nobody wants to see a backup. And I'm thinking, yeah, they do. This is a dream scenario. You come in the AFC Championship game with a chance to take your team to the Super Bowl. That's amazing. And then you put Stidham on the list, and I'm like, oh, okay, he does believe it. And then you're like, no, but I don't believe in it. And then you throw in, he's self-scouting, must win. I mean, it's every week you surprise me.
Thank you.
So I'm going with a little bit different. I'm going with the Patriots offensive line. So this is back-to-back weeks against very good defenses, excellent defenses, but there's been 5 sacks. 5 sacks in the first week, 5 sacks in the second week. But it's got to get easier this week, doesn't it? Doesn't get easier, fellas. So let's just take a look at what you're facing here against Denver. So in terms of sack percentage, 10.3%, first in the NFL. Knockdown percentage, so that's where the ball is actually thrown, but the quarterback's on the ground.
I call that penalty percentage.
first in the league there. There's 13.5%. Hurry percentage, well, what could that be? Well, that's where you have to throw the ball either quicker than you need to or want to, or you got to roll out of the pocket, you got to escape. They're 7th in the league there at 9.3%. So you combine all those together, 40% of the plays, one of those things have been happening during the regular season from this defense. And then you add in the component of the blitz. They bring a lot of pressure. The good news is Drake Maye has handled that very well. Now, with the offensive line, I went and looked at the coaching staff. The Patriots have 3 offensive line coaches. So they don't have Dante Scarnecchia, so they compensated for that by hiring 3 guys. So you got 3 guys to coach everybody up. And when you listen to some of the comments, it's not like Josh McDaniels hasn't been giving you help. Campbell actually said, some of my worst plays are when I've had help because I didn't adjust correctly to it. So it's not like there's been where Josh has overlooked the fact that they might need a little bit of assistance. He's done that too. So I think that you have a real chance, Drake Maye has a real chance to light these guys up if he gets some time, because we saw it from the Prince. The Prince lit him up.
Thank you.
Jackson Dart, he lit him up too. Drake Maye can definitely light him up, but in order for that to happen, you guys can't have any of these blindside hits. And, at that point, anything is possible.
Coach, are you first to market with the Patriots blowout take, or do I still have that in my back pocket?
Well, I think it depends on how well he's able to sit in the pocket. But if he has a little bit of time, I think he can light him up.
Ooh, that was an excellent.
Market, for whatever it's worth, I'm not saying right or wrong, market's moving against that take. Yesterday when we talked about this game, it was 5.5. So now 4.5. So some money is coming in for whatever that's worth.
I like it at,
on the
I would like it at
Broncos.
10. Great news, everyone. It is about
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
It's 4:12 on a Thursday, which means it's time for a really great segment. It's the Sports Media Ombudsman, and this time, I got a preview, it's going to be good.
That's fair.
I'm trying to sell it.
This time.
Do you guys know the subject of the first ever Sports Media Ombudsman? Before it was even called the Sports Media Ombudsman. It was back in the the fall of 2024, during the baseball playoffs, when the internet had decided, Bob Costas, you stink. We don't like your baseball commentary. And I, paraphrasing myself, called the internet a bunch of spoiled, petulant children who didn't appreciate that Bob freaking Costas, arguably the single greatest sportscaster ever, was calling baseball games as a senior citizen, as a service to all of us.
Right.
Now, I also, if I may, just a brief personal story, I had extra motivation for that because when I was 11 years old, I met Bob Costas, walked up to him and said, where'd you go to school? What'd you do? How'd you become Bob Costas? And not only did he say, I went to Syracuse, I worked at WAER, and from that moment, that's the only thing I said I was going to do. He gave me his home address and said, write to me. And not only did I write to him, I sent him all my sports takes 3 times a year, and then he wrote me back postcards, good takes once again, and it was the greatest guy ever. However, that criticism really did, it made its way to Costas's door from the internet, and he wasn't on the playoffs last year, and we were all the worse for it, because Bob Costas doing baseball is a great thing in American sports.
Yes.
Well, I was just so pleased to hear that this year, with NBC's coverage of baseball, Bob Costas is back. And it is an honor to be broadcasting, be able to watch sports, and hear Al Michaels calling football games, Bob Costas calling baseball games. Again, I understand these are different networks, but these are the legends, the older legends of the field that guys like our folks, came up listening to. So congratulations to Bob Costas. I'm glad he's back, and I think everyone in sports media should be glad he's back.
That was nice.
I told you it was going to be good. You guys are laughing at it.
Generally, it's ripping people.
Well, so listen, the ombudsman, there are no sacred cows for the ombudsman.
I love that Bob Costas did that for you.
It's unbelievable.
really
Wrote
nice.
me a letter of recommendation for Syracuse when I was 18 years old. Saw him
Pretty
once
amazing.
a year. It was unbelievable. Yeah, it's great.
It's pretty sick if you get a letter for recommendation from Bob Costas.
Yeah.
He did. He set up,
to Syracuse.
just very quickly, he set up a meeting with me and the dean. I met with the dean, and the dean told me, listen, you have a recommendation from Costas. You're a smart kid, obviously. He's like, but just so you know, you have maybe the worst radio voice I've ever heard. You shouldn't do it. That's true.
Really?
The dean said that?
The dean was like, your voice will never work on radio. It's all nasally and whiny. I was like, oh, man, I'm in a rough spot. But I did it. That is true. That's a
Have
true
you
story.
passed that on to anyone?
The nasally, whiny voice?
No, not the nasally, whiny voice.
Oh.
Have you taken any young broadcasters under your wing and give them your home address and you write back good takes? Or do you criticize their takes?
I've tried to pay it forward as best
He
as
was,
possible.
guarantee
he
you.
was Zach's mentor for his project.
I was
very
Zach's
thoughtful.
mentor for his project.
There you
There's
go.
yeah, I don't want to need to get into that. Just
was
I'm
nice.
glad to have
I
Costas.
thought that was a great sports media.
That was
buzz.
very nice. I like that.
Back to the NFL, I am putting Keon Coleman, really the Bills, on the bud list because during Pagula's press conference, he decided to interrupt the normal procedure and say, I just want to stop down and basically call drafting Keon Coleman a mistake. The only problem is Keon Coleman is still on your team. So every once in a while, I go on the internet. You know, the internet gets serving stuff up to me, and they go. I'm always trying to self-scout like you. You know, red flags, green flags. You seen that? Like red flags in a relationship. I'm in a long-time relationship, call it marriage. But I'm like, I should self-scout. Am I doing any of these red flag things?
Yeah.
And it's always like, when you go out to dinner, you're rude to the bartender or the wait staff or the hostess. You're just not concerned with the people around you that are making your experience successful. I felt like the Bills organization did that a little bit. Maybe Keon Coleman didn't have the best year. Maybe he was late to a meeting. Maybe he was a healthy scratch. But he was a rookie, and he was on your team, and you did draft him. And I'm sure there's a responsible, more comfortable, more emotionally sensitive way to handle a young player who underachieved on your team. So here's how Keon did this year. Not excellent. Fair. 96th in targets, 128th. Maybe he's not even going to be a future Buffalo Bill. And if he's not...
This is over his 2 years.
Over 2 years, sorry. Yeah, this is his second year, I'm sorry.
Hey, that's not a bad year.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry.
Right.
Yeah, over his 2 years.
Second year on the team. I just didn't like how Keon Coleman was treated, and I thought that this was a bad sign for the organization overall, Coach. Yeah.
I'm just surprised in a long-term relationship your wife hasn't told you what the red flags are.
I'm always self-scouting. Can I tell you something, Coach,
nice.
that you want to make it? When I eat peanut butter out of the jar, this is a little pro tip. Don't just put the spoon in the sink, okay? It's covered with peanut butter. Don't do that. Okay?
Hey, that's
you shouldn't need to be told twice.
Yeah, look, in fairness to Keon Coleman, that's not the way you want to find out that the ultimate person who decides your fate doesn't really like you. And not only is he talking about you, but he's talking about you in terms of who's responsible for what a big mistake you are. Now, I don't know how Keon's been in the building or, you know, what his personal activities have been like in terms of meetings and all that stuff. You know, that comes into play. But yeah, there's definitely a much better, more sensitive, thoughtful way to handle it. And that does, look, we're not the only ones that see that. Free agents see that, other players see that. And this is a very harsh game, but they're still human beings, and human beings want to be treated with respect.
And any team that was like, I might trade a 5th round pick for 33rd overall pick, Keon Coleman. Now is like, I might be able to get him for a 7th round pick.
You heard his
trade. But Brew, I think you'll be with me on this, in part because you do a lot of, I think it's fair to say, mentorship type of things. Keon Coleman's 22 years old. He's very young for a guy who's been in the league 2 years. He came in very young. I look at this press conference as a fork in the road for him. And fork in the roads, sometimes you take the wrong, like, it doesn't mean like, oh, now everything's going to be better. He might have watched this and be like, those old dopes don't know what they're talking about. I'm going back to bed. He also, I think it's on the board. He saw that and was like, I'm going to prove that old man so wrong. And you know what? That I am going to. Right, like that should have been.
But he's had
opportunities.
No, not with them. But I'm saying for his career. I'm not saying. I think his career with the Bills is probably over. But who cares?
Yeah.
If you're Keon Coleman, you're 22 years old. You can play another 10 years of good football if you channel what made you the 33rd overall pick and get. It's been maturity issues. He's sleeping through meetings. He's doing stuff like that. And so maybe this was, while mean and poor form by the Bills, good for him if he takes it as motivation to prove them wrong.
You hope so. The only thing I say is he's had plenty. I mean, when they didn't suit him up, all that stuff. He's had opportunities to be like wake-up calls.
Yep.
And apparently hadn't taken them yet. But yeah, you hope that's how it works out.
Coming up next, Sean Payton's bulletin board material. Next. I feel like we need Jackson Blade music.
Oh, yeah. I like that. I got music, too.
That does look good.
Is there a Jackson Blade video game? I would play that.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.